in the squad at the minute could do with some help.
In the comments, guys, Rangers is okay, says tickets still available, no wonder, we're chronic, and I feel for McInnes, but 2 bad results this week and he's going to be in deep trouble. And Mark says, how much trouble is McInnes in if they go out of Europe? They really need to win tomorrow night, don't they? They really need to beat this team.
Listen, it'd be a major setback for Derek McInnes, and you know he's trying to win over the hearts and minds a little bit just now. There was a sort of, I think the vast majority of Rangers fans understand that he's the right guy at the right time for Rangers, but they were already on the fumes in terms of patience, running on fumes when he came in. There will be some amongst the Rangers support who didn't fancy him in the first instance, never have fancied him for whatever reason, maybe want to go down the European route again. So it all adds up into a difficult picture for Derek McInnes right now. I think he desperately just needs to get a win under his belt, and then he can start to build things from there. That's stating the obvious, isn't it? But yeah, there are so many shifting pieces just now in terms of this transfer window, the recruitment drive, which is turning into an absolute overhaul. It's difficult times, and I think a couple of things. He said in the press conference today that Rangers are playing with fire in terms of the lack of defensive options. He said, look, it was always pretty obvious if we got a couple of injuries, then we could be in a situation where we're down to the bare bones, and that's exactly where he finds himself already in this second leg of this tie, because he's not got a left-sided full-back, and he's only got 4 fit defenders. So he's going to have to cobble something together, and he's going to have to send out a team that he feels is the most trustworthy starting 11 that he's got at his disposal. And he needs to then hang his hat on them to go out there and perform. But the players need to take responsibility as well, and this has always been the problem. It's been a problem for such a long time at Rangers. You've got a bunch of players in there that can't be trusted, that don't take responsibility, that have cost a number of managers the opportunity to stay in the job for any significant length of time. Derek McInnes is obviously addressing that because the size, the scale of the turnover is enormous. I think that they're waiting for confirmation on the winger Drioch from PSV. That'll be signing number 10. And as Derek McInnes has just said there could be another 4 or 5 to come in, especially now that they're needing a number 9 as well. So once all that is done, it doesn't probably need to rely on the players that have proven over a period of time that they can't be relied upon. A group of guys that came third in a 2-horse race last season. And that's just the start of the work, because then he's got to try and get this team bonded, get it together. You could be looking essentially at an entirely new starting 11 by the end of this month. And then he's going to have his work cut out. So the initial phase is get the change around, get the turnaround, get bodies in, get bodies out. And then when you get to the end of August, start of September, it's right, we've got an entirely new team here. How do we gel this? It's a lot of work. I don't know is the answer, Daniel, how much more patience the Rangers fans will have. I hope they've got some, because they've got to understand the size of the task he's taking on. He also said in the press conference today that he was hoping for some good news, maybe later today, maybe tomorrow. He couldn't be any more clear there. He's saying this needs to be done with a degree of real urgency. And here we are at just gone 6 on Wednesday night, and I don't believe there has been any more incomings since Derek McInnes' press conference at lunchtime today. So whatever deals they're working on, they ain't getting done at the speed that Derek McInnes would like them to get done at, that's for sure.
I mean, Mick, in the comments, David says, we as supporters need to be patient. Derek will get this right. But David is one of a few people who says, Daniel, if he gets put out of Europe, he's a dead man walking. Do you think they'll get through tomorrow, Mick?
I think they'll have enough to kind of scrape through. I don't think it's going to be a straightforward night. I don't think it's going to be an easy, comfortable 2, 3 and 4-0 win. I think it's going to be a stressful 90 minutes plus. It might be plus required tomorrow night. I just look at the Rangers' defence. I think it looks a bit vulnerable. So can they keep a clean sheet? Which I think they have to do. I also be interested to see how Jagiellonia play it. I mean, if they've been doing a bit of scouting on the last couple of games domestically, if they try and set up like a Scottish Premiership team and try and do the low block and frustrate, that's going to make it a long night for Rangers, because that's when they get into that huff and puff situation that they've been in for far too long. And that could be difficult for them. And also it means they can be susceptible in the break. So it's a treacherous night for Rangers. I think they've got enough, just about enough to get through it. But as I say, I just can't see anything but a lot of stress on the way. That's what I'm seeing with Derek McInnes. I mean, the last word of his press conference clip there was help, and he might as well be holding a sign up saying help there. I mean, it looks like a man with the weight of the world on his shoulders. He knows he's got a squad that's lacking. He's got injuries that are piling up. I genuinely think, I mean, it sounds a bit dramatic. I mean, how long have we got left in the window? 21 days, is it, from today? September the 3rd?
About that, September 3rd.
So, well, 3 weeks then. So he's got 3 weeks that now are going to shape Rangers' season. But unfortunately, there's also games coming thick and fast in that period, which could define it as well. And this is the life. I mean, somebody said the word patience there. When have you ever seen patience getting used and applied to football in general, but in particular in Glasgow, the Rangers and Celtic? And when you say patience, I mean, Rangers have spent an awful lot of money in the last 18 months. And you think, surely they should get more bang for their buck for what they're spending. So it's all right saying there's patience, but it's a word that doesn't exist in Glasgow football. So there will be no patience. I think you'll get a little bit more leeway than some managers would get, because people know that he's in there doing his best and he's hamstrung by a lot of situations. But, for example, we saw it with Celtic with Wilfred Nancy, losing his first 4 games, and he's practically at the door. I mean, people were trying to sack him after a week. I mean, he lost his first 3 games, and there was genuinely people on here and elsewhere saying he should be gone after a week. So he'll get more leeway because of who he is. If he'd been a foreign manager, there'd be people calling for him to go now, which is ridiculous. So we'll get a bit more wriggle room, but not much, because, as I say, there is no patience in Glasgow.
I think the thing that will do him a favour, Mick, one, obviously, he knows the club. He was part of it. He was a guy that Walter Smith always saw as a Rangers manager of the future. But 2, the body of work that he's got behind him, his CV in terms of what he's achieved in Scottish football. Now, I know he's never won the Premier League title, but he's made like Aberdeen and Hearts punch above their weight and take a fight to Celtic. And so I think if it was a new guy, a Wilfred Nancy type, a Russell Martin type, and he was coming in and he was trying to reinvent the wheel in front of your eyes, it didn't make any sense, and he's got nothing to fall back on in terms of, look, guys, I've done this before. So I think all that falls in Derek McInnes' favour. But the top and bottom of it, and he will know better than anybody, none of that is going to count unless he starts winning games as Rangers manager. And I think you'll understand the importance of getting out of the block with a win tomorrow night and keeping Rangers in this in the hunt for the Europa League. If he gets a bad result there, again, there'll be mitigating circumstances, because the squad is what it is right now.